hello again.
How you doing, Adam?
Very well, thank you. Happy New Year. First blog of 2018.
Yeah.
I'll point out the obvious before we start so that you don't get loads of questions about it. You do look like you've just been to a funeral.
Because I have just been at a funeral. A sombre start to the new year, unfortunately. A good friend of mine. Too many friends of mine dying young. Just crazy. I'm only 43. I've actually lost so many friends. I'm just like... Asinia Byfield gets his shot at a final eliminated for the British title, so that is good news. At the same time, I did feel a little bit disappointed, just to be frank. I was disappointed. I thought, obviously, Liam Smith's moved on. Liam Williams coming off 2 defeats. How do you sell that as a British title fight? Guy that's, boxed twice without winning in a row. I think they could have made Asinia versus JJ Metcalfe for the title. And Liam Williams, decent fighter, but he's had his chances. He's had his turn, and I think he should have been made to move on. Whoever the other two then could have boxed for the title. And if Liam Williams comes off a good win, a good result at the same in the same time frame, then he can be the mandatory next. But I think Asinia, he's beaten a good number of top level guys. JJ Metcalfe just coming off a very good run as well. They should have fought for me. They should have fought for the British title. Whichever way you look at it, I can't understand why they're giving Liam Williams priority. He's campaigned at a higher level, but like I say, boxing is a business. We have to sell this, and he's coming off a defeat. And I think they should have made the other two fight for the vacant title. Anyway, listen, they're not going to change the decision.
The questions, we've been getting loads of questions through the...
Yeah, I'd noticed.
Yeah. Through Twitter and so on. People want to know where and when. Okay,
the thing is, I'm the manager of the boxer, right? So I manage Asinia. My job is to try and negotiate and manage his situation so that the finances stack up and he makes as much money as he can. I don't decide the where and when. I take part in the negotiations for it, but I do not know when it will be. We'll go. I think it will go to purse bids. I think it's very likely that it will go to purse bids. If it doesn't, then we can do a deal. No problem. And BT Sport is arguably at the moment like the best platform to box on. So we'd happily do a deal to go and do that, but it's not always as straightforward as you'd think. Even though Frank Warren, I think, has a promotional contract with JJ Metcalfe, so we will see. Whatever will be. But we it's not like just flicking a switch. There's a whole stack of things that. And
yeah, I think that's just what people want to know. People, maybe it's not obvious to everyone that this isn't something that's now agreed. This is just what the board have asked
This
for.
is the board have said, right, these two to box each other. Asinia's got other, to be honest, there's other options there for him than the British title. So we need to think, do we want to do an eliminator to fight for a title? Or do we just go and fight for some other title straight away? I think every boxer in the UK has it in their sort of wish list, if you like, to box and win the British title and get a Lonsdale belt, and I think Asinia's no different, which lures us in that direction. But then you've got to look at, I think basically we got the hardest fight, and it's not even for a title.
Yeah.
The board has given us, I think, arguably the hardest fight that we could get. I think I rate JJ Metcalfe, not just as a boxer, but I've watched it. I'm obsessive when I make a fight. I want to meticulously dissect everything, mannerisms, body language, everything I see in that JJ Metcalfe. Actually, I like.
Right.
From a boxing point of view, from a commercial saleability point of view, I don't. I think he's got the personality to win people over. Like if you met him, but is he going to appeal to? He's very stated in the way he comes across, very sort of quiet. Seems like a nice guy actually. It's a shame that we have to try and plot how to
destruct his
how to beat him up. Yeah, but that's what this is a business. We have to try and work out a way of beating him, and I'm sure we will put something together from a technical point of view, because I enjoy being involved in that as well.
Oh, I
as
do.
you know.
I know how much joy you get from it.
yeah, and that's what our business is built on basically. So we will be. I already am. To be honest, even before this, I know him well from the amateurs. Very good amateur. He to me, he seems like the kind of guy that normally you'd want to avoid. He can punch, he can box. I remember his dad, I was present when he boxed Mickey Ward, and that was a ferocious fight. Only because Mickey Ward went and fought Gatti that people sort of forgot the Shane Neary fight.
Yeah.
But he had it was at Kensington Olympia, and it was an absolute war. It was either Earl's Court or Kensington Olympia, one or the other, but it was an absolute war. And it was the night Nassim Hamed came down on a sort of flying carpet, and it was an undercard fight, but sort of maybe top of the undercard, and it was brutal. It was brutal. Amongst definitely in the top 10 most brutal fights I've ever seen. I'm not saying that his son, that JJ Metcalfe, is the same as Shane Neary, but I think technically he's different. But I think some of that sort of mindset from Shane Neary is bound to have rubbed off. I think from Asinia's point of view, he was mentally preparing himself for Joe Pigford. Although that we sort of realised at one point we think it's going to be sort of quite soon that he's going to be matched. And then obviously they withdrew Joe Pigford and we're not fighting him. And I think for any boxer, if you've started mentally building the pictures in your mind of, right, I'm going to fight this guy.
You then need to reset it. You need
he needs a little holiday, and then this will go to purse bids, then we'll have a date to fight.
Will that be before sort of a third of the year, before end of April?
Well, depending on who wins the purse bids, and then whoever wins those purse bids. I mean, good thing that came out of the Pigford fight is one that we got a sponsor, like a financial backer, who came up saying, well, I'd like the fight to be in Reading. I was like, well, it probably won't be possible because this is what, don't care, want the fight in Reading, I'll sponsor the event and I'll put this. Suddenly then it starts to get a bit more interesting and puts a bit more of a level playing field and means maybe it's possible to do it in Reading. The way that Metcalfe comes across, like I say, he comes across as a very nice guy, but is he a very nice guy who can sell lots of tickets? Often the guys that can sell lots of tickets, they're a bit more outspoken and sort of...
A bit more like Asinia.
A bit more like Asinia, yeah, Asinia, no problem. We know, you work on our website, you look at our website, who gets the most hits.
Hands down.
Yeah, by a mile, Asinia Byfield, everyone wants to watch
Asinia and Darryll, actually. But
yeah. Well, Darryll's... we've got a meeting next week, important meeting with Frank Warren, and hopefully we can sort of put something together there that gets him out and boxing again from my side, because I don't just want to be involved at building the guys at foundation level and then he retires and that. No, we built the foundations, we laid the foundations well, we put the brickwork down and we put the framework and put everything, and I want to see it come to fruition. We did get offered a massive fight for Darryll. And I think that, from his side, that might motivate him a bit, because it shows that the commodity that he's turned himself into, through all that sacrifice and hard work that he's put out there, and he can now go and earn a lot more money than what he's ever earned before because of what he did. To me, it makes no sense at all to do all of that work and then just toss it away. And I think now we need to sit down with Frank Warren, hopefully get a deal that works for the promoter. Listen, I promote shows and I manage box, so I understand it from both sides. Yes. But we need something now that's concrete, that we can all move forward together with, hopefully. And that's what we'll be looking to do with Darryll, because again, we're getting messages every day, when's Darryll boxing and what's that. If I knew, I would respond right away. I mean, if you look on my Twitter, I always respond to people when they ask me something directly. But the truth is, again, if you don't know the answer, I'm not going to guess it. I mean, it needs to be sorted out by sitting down. Frank obviously was in Canada with Billy Joe Saunders. He returned the same day that I went to Minsk, meaning that we sort of missed each other crossing over. And we're meeting next week, so hopefully we'll have some good news on Darryll, and Asinia Byfield, that situation, for me, I mean, we're going to be doing more blogs on that, I'm sure, as we start analysing and assessing, and obviously you know what in fact, no, you don't know what's coming with Asinia, and that's half the fun of it, is I think he will definitely be more grounded than what he was. You know, you understand as well, it's a big difference, even on my biggest show that I've ever put together, say, boxing on that, and then going to fight in front of, 9,000 people or something at the Copper Box, with all the TV cameras everywhere and the lights. And
live interviews, everything's live.
And all these faces in the front row that you can recognise, all of them, they're people that you've watched since you were a kid boxing, and Frank Warren's there, and you know, it makes a big difference. And I think I said when Aaron Morgan had his fight with Joe Pigford, and for me I felt like the jump in size of event, I think it affected him. I think it affected him adversely, because I know Aaron's a better boxer than what he showed that night. He didn't box badly, but he made some terrible bad calls. He made some bad decisions towards the second half of the fight, certainly. In fact, no, even from, I'm going to say, throughout. And I think it's that experience is vital to get it. And for me, I think maybe, you know, we will see, but I think Asinia will improve for now, having had all those press conferences and everything you go through with that. And it felt to me like the right step at the right time, but it makes a difference. And I think Asinia won't make some of the mistakes that he maybe made leading up to that, where he went a bit far with. But I think a big part of it, you know, it's an intimidating atmosphere. You know, he's from Reading. He's gone into the Copper Box, which was full of West Ham people. You've seen the messages he was getting prior to the fight from the West Ham Massive, and I think he was determined to sort of make that statement. I'm not intimidated by any of this BS. You know, the fighting's going to happen in the ring, and that's where he did do his fighting, and did himself a huge favour, really, in the boxing point of view, because everybody now wants to know about Asinia Byfield. Everyone wants to watch him. Promoters consistently. I mean, hardly a day goes without someone asking me something about, you know, what he's going to do. So, Frank Warren gave us a big opportunity on that show, and we will certainly speak to them if they want to do something. We'll look at that, certainly. We're very, you know, happy. Got a great platform with BT, and I think that would naturally be a sort of next step, maybe. But
news to come soon. Then basically, stay tuned.
Yeah, and we're talking to everyone, you know, like the McGuigans have got Channel 5, you've got everyone, really, now. Look, Ted Cheeseman's with Sky and Eddie Hearn. There's some massive fights to be made there. That are my kind of fights, sort of fights that really you want to see. That you
absolutely.
Yeah, as a fight fan, you want to see good guys with great records fighting each other. And that's what's coming up, so. Guys, it's a great fight, it's going to have a great build-up. Follow it throughout on Hellraiser Boxing. Give us a subscribe, give us a like, thumbs up, and 2018, baby, it's going to be good. Cheers, guys. See you soon.